What's up everybody? Today I'm going to show you how to turn a regular t-shirt into a long sleeve tee. As you can see, it just adds a little something to it, like a blank tee. But anyways, without further ado, let's get straight into the tutorial. For this tutorial, you're going to need a cutting tool, a seam ripper, a bunch of pins, a measuring tape, a ruler, a yard of fabric for the sleeves, a half a yard of ribbed knit fabric for the sleeves cuffs, a piece of construction paper to make a template, and the t-shirt you want to customize. I'll put a list of everything you'll need in the video description. To start off the tutorial, the first thing we're going to do is remove the sleeves of the t-shirt. There's two ways you can do this. You can cut them off with a pair of scissors or a cutting tool, or you can seam rip them off. I decided to seam rip them because it leaves everything nice and clean. So if you want to cut off your sleeves with a pair of scissors, that's fine. But if you want to use a seam ripper, it's really easy as well. All you need to do is turn the t-shirt inside out, locate the seams, then use your seam ripper to remove the sleeves. Once you're done removing the sleeves, you should end up with two separated sleeves and a body piece. After you finish that, the next thing we're going to do is make the new sleeves. To make this process a lot easier, we're going to make a simple sleeve template using our own body measurements. The first measurement we're going to need is the sleeve length. Get your measuring tape and start at the top of your shoulder and end at your wrist. This will be your total sleeve length. To prevent any measurement errors, you want to add 1 to 2 inches to the total length. The second measurement we're going to need is the width of our wrist. Take your measuring tape and wrap it around your wrist. And then with that measurement, you want to add 2 inches. This is going to prevent any measurement errors that we might have. And then you want to take that total measurement, so the measurement we got from our wrist, add 2 inches, and then you want to divide that in half. This will be your total wrist width measurement. Once you have the sleeve length and wrist width measurements, you can now draw this out on your construction paper. Using the sleeve length measurement, you want to draw out a straight line. At the end of this line, you want to measure out 3 inches in the opposite direction and add a vertical line. For the width of the vertical line, you want to use your wrist width measurement that we got earlier. At this point, your template should look like this. Now you want to get one of your sleeves. Place the sleeve along the line that we just created. You want to trace the outline of the sleeve onto the template. After you finish that, you can close up the sleeve by connecting the open side. The last thing to add to the template is the seam allowance. Simply measure 1 inch away from the template and create a rectangle around it. It should look like this. After you added the seam allowance, you're done with your template. You can then proceed to cut out the template. Make sure to not cut past the vertical line. Now that we have created the template, we can now make the sleeves. Grab the fabric you want to use and lay it down on the wrong side of the fabric. You want to fold the fabric over enough so it fits the size of the template. Then you want to place the template along the fold of the fabric. Pin the template onto the fabric and cut along it. Once you finish one sleeve, you want to repeat the same process to cut out the second sleeve. When you're done with all the cutting, you should end up with 2 separate sleeves. After both sleeves are cut, you want to flip each sleeve inside out and pin along the open end of the sleeve. Take your time and try not to stretch the fabric. Here's an example of how the pinning should look. Now you want to take it to your sewing machine and do a zigzag stitch or an overlock stitch to close up the sleeves. Once you're done with the sleeves, you can put that aside for now, and you want to grab the fabric you want to use for the cuffs. You want to take that fabric and fold it over so the width is about 3 inches. Then you want to fold it over one more time so it's the length of your wrist measurement. Make sure everything is folded correctly and cut off any excess material. You want to repeat this one more time for the other cuff. After all the cutting, you should end up with 2 separate cuffs like this. Keep everything folded and pin along the open side of the cuff. Here's how the pinning should look. Now take it to your sewing machine and do another zigzag or overlock stitch along the open side of the cuff. Once you finish sewing the cuffs, you should have these 4 pieces sewn. Now we're going to sew the cuffs onto the sleeves. Turn the sleeves right side up and keep the cuffs inside out. Grab one of the sleeves and one of the cuffs. You want to line up the seam of the cuff with the seam of the sleeve. Once the seams are matched up, you want to take the folded end of the cuff and bring it over the sleeve. The raw end of the cuff should match up with the end of the sleeve. Now you want to pin the cuff around the sleeve. I advise you to stretch both the sleeve and the cuff as you pin. It makes things 1,000 times easier if you do this. But once you're done with all of the pinning, it should roughly look like this. Remember to repeat this one more time for the other sleeve. Once both sleeves are pinned, you want to take it to your sewing machine. You want to do a straight stitch around the cuff twice to lock the two pieces together. Once both sleeves are finished, the last thing to do is attach them onto the t-shirt. Grab your sleeveless t-shirt and make sure it's still inside out. You want to take the sleeves and insert them into the armhole of the t-shirt with the cuffs going in first. After you insert the sleeve, you want to match the bottom of the armhole with the seam of the sleeve and pin them together. After those two are pinned, you can proceed to pin around the armhole. Do not, I repeat, do not stretch the fabric if you don't need to. If you end up stretching the fabric too much, it will mess everything up. Once you pinned both sleeves, the pinning around both armholes should look like this. Now you can take it to your sewing machine and do a zigzag or overlock stitch around the armhole to lock the sleeves in place. Once you're done with all the sewing, you can try on your new long sleeve tee. Let me know what you guys think about my long sleeve tee in the comment section below. And before I end this video, I just want to answer one question from my Ask FM. I want to do this every single time, every end of the video, so I can interact with you guys on a more global basis other than the comment section. So the question I picked up from my Ask FM was concerning more uploads. So the question actually goes, can you make vids 2 times a week? Now, I've gave it some thought and I possibly could do more videos a week. It's just I can't do tutorials. I don't know how people would feel about that if I was just doing advice videos or, just quick tips on sewing. I don't know. If you guys can give me some suggestions on other things to do or revive some of my old series, let me know. I would love to do it. But anyways, thanks for watching. This is KAD Daily. Remember to keep it daily, and I hope to see you guys soon. Peace!